Abstraction. Abstractions is meaning the to hide the implementation of a class. When we say abstract, we means that this is just an outside shape, okay? But inside there's nothing. It's hidden somewhere else. So abstraction in Java is the process of hiding the code of the class from the user. How do we hide it? We put it somewhere else in another class. There's two ways to implement the abstraction. We either use abstract class or interface. Remember, abstract is a class and interface is not a class, it's an interface. Okay? So how we do that? Let's talk about the abstract class first. If we want to make the class abstract, we're gonna put the word abstract in front of it. So I'm gonna create, we'll take an example, okay? So if you want to make this class abstract in here in this example, I already did that, okay? So if I want to make this class abstract, I just put the word abstract right here. And this class become abstract. And you can see the abstract class is it has an abstract method or not. If it's an abstract class, if I initiate it, okay, I have to write code inside it, like this one here, like this one here. So yeah, the abstract keyword is a non-access modifier. It is not like a private and public. It is something different, okay, that make the class to hide its implementation. The abstract class is a restricted class that can't be used to create an object. We cannot use the abstract class to create an object. This is something that you should know. Alright? We cannot use it to create an object. To access it, we must inherit it from another class. We must do an inheritance from another class. Remember these things. Okay? I cannot create an instance from abstract class. I cannot use it directly. I have to inherit it by another class. Okay, we'll demonstrate this, but let's just know this. Okay, if you have abstract method like this, okay, the abstract method does not have a body. There's no code for it. You just write the method name like this and no code. No code at all. If it's abstract method, right? Abstract method, the code will be overridden somewhere else in the inherited class. Okay? Remember, if you have abstract class may contain abstract method or non-abstract method. We'll see that. Now, if a class has at least one abstract method, then it should be what? It should be declared like this: abstract method class. That should be mentioned like this, like this. If the class is declared abstract, cannot be instated. I cannot create an instance from the class. If the class like this, abstract class animal, I cannot say cat animal cat equal new animal. That is not allowed. I cannot create an instance from abstract class. Remember that. Okay? And also, to use the class, you can inherit it. Okay? If you inherit it, you have to put the implementation in the subclass. Let's take an example. Okay? Inside the employee, I'm going to create a class here. I'm going to create a class, and I will say new Java class, and I will call it employee. Okay, home. I will call it employee. Simple. We know how to do this in a simple way. But I'm gonna change something here. I'm gonna make the employee what? Abstract class. And A is a small letter. Abstract class employee. Okay. Like a normal class, the abstract class can have variables like private. For example, as a string name, and we can have it the same variable here. So we can have name, integer, and number. We can put them the same things here. So like in other classes, it will have variables, okay? But we can create a constructor for it. That's the full constructor. It has a methods. This is the first method, for example. I'm gonna put it right here. So this is the constructor, full constructor. This is a normal method here. Okay, the method is called compute pay, and it's just to print inside employee compute pay and return double, which is 0.0. It does just to demonstrate for you how's that work. Okay, here. So this is mail check. Inside the mail check, I have only one line just to print something, and you can see that I'm gonna just make it looks like what we know. So just system to print the name and the address of the person. You can see that the class is abstract, but I still can write a method inside it. Okay, that should be fine. All right, because abstract class may contain non-abstract method, and that should be okay. Also, there's another method here called toString that will convert to string. So I'm gonna put it right here and make it looks good for you. So I just return the name and the address and the number as a string, as one string. Okay, concatenation between three string. And also we have the setter and the getter of the variable. So let's insert the setter and the getters. I can insert them on the top here instead of there, so I can put them right here. I put the setter and the getter, and I have full methods, okay, inside the class. But what is the class? I put inside the class, in front of the class, I put the word what? Abstract. When I say abstract, it means the code should be hidden. All right, so what does that make the class? Is it a normal class or not? There's only one difference. Okay, if I remove abstract without abstract, okay, and go to the main and say here employee EMB equal new employee. Okay, it's the same. So I'm gonna is it the same? Employee. Yeah, and let's just put give it a call, give it something like name or what, because we don't have empty constructor. Name, address, and number. So under and say every, and say 1. Okay, is there any error? No, that should be fine. But if I put the word abstract and save it, okay, I have an error. What's the error? This statement. Why is that? It is an abstract class. I cannot create an instance from abstract class. You got it? What's the error? You can read it, huh? I cannot create an instance from abstract class. The employee class is the same as a normal class in Java, but what? cannot initiate it. You cannot use the word new to create an instance from it like what we did here. The only way to use the abstract class, this is the abstract class, the only way to use it is to inherit it. How do we inherit it? I create another class, Java class. I'm gonna call it same as here. I'm gonna call it salary, for example, and I'll say finish. Okay. So in order to use the employee, I need to inherit it. So I say extend employee. Then I can use it. Okay, extends what? Employee. Then I can use it. Okay. So if I do that, okay, in salary, I'm inherited from what? From the employee. Then I can use employee. Without inheritance, I cannot call the function. I cannot use anything inside this class because it's what? It's an abstract. It's hidden code. I cannot use it. All right. So I have to inherit it. So here in salary, we have salary double, okay, as a variable. And we have a constructor, a full constructor, insert code, say constructor. Then I can use that. I can use the constructor inside the main, inside the employee. So I have to check them and say regenerate. Okay, so I'm having now what? I'm having two constructor. One is empty and the other one is a full with the super. I'm calling the super because I inherited from employee. Okay, so I have created that. Okay, then I can create set and get for the variable salary if you want in order to use that. So I can create a setter and getter for the salary. And also here we have for example a method, two methods. Okay, I'm gonna add them the same here. One method is called get salary double equal a new salary, which is the same as the get salary here, the other one here. So I'm gonna remove the get salary from there. Set salary new double. Okay, what's the error here? Method set salary, it's already exists, so I'm gonna remove this one because I have created my own. I have added some code to it. Okay, and I have another method, so I changed the code in set salary. I added a variable and I changed the code to this. Okay, I also, and this is the if statement. I'm gonna make it clear for you so you can see it. And also I have compute pay function. I override the function inside the super class. This is the super class in the employee. I have the same function called what? Compute pay. When I write the same function in the child, that means I override. Here we have what? We have override. Okay, that's a compute pay. It tells you that it's an override. You can see the words is written over there. Okay, so now I can create an instance from salary and call the things inside the employee. Anything inside the employee now become inside the salary. All right, but direct way to use employee you cannot, but you have to inherit it using another class. So if I go to the main, here, I can say, okay, instead of creating a new employee, I'm gonna create what? I'm gonna create a new salary. So I'm gonna say salary, for example, as equal new salary. Okay, so I added the salary only, right? The constructor. So now I can say as dot what? Compute pay. That will return something. Okay, so I have to say, for example, system dot out dot print. Okay, let's say for example double sal equal this one, like this, and then I can print the salary. Okay, I can also use the variable inside the employee. I can say as dot set name or get name. It's up to you. Okay, or you can say get name if you want. As dot get name. This method inside where? Inside the employee. Now I can use them. Okay, now I can use them. I can use mail check if you want. Okay, so if you want to use mail check, you can use it in the there here. So if you run it, that's fine. It should run perfectly. Okay, compute salary pay for month. So if you make a class abstract, that means you cannot what? You cannot instead create an instance from it. If you make the method abstract, okay, if you go to the employee, make the method abstract, then the code should be there. So if I say here abstract, and I remove the code, I have to remove the code. It will not have a code. Where should I write the code? Where? The code should be written in the child. When I inherited, I wrote compute pay. If I make another function abstract, okay, if I make toString abstract or mail check, if I make it abstract, okay, I have to copy the code and put it somewhere in the child. So that will give me an error. So I have to remove the code, but I still have to come here and put the code here and make it like this. Okay, guys? And change this to get address and get name. Let's say, okay, if I have a class called animal and this class is abstract, I'm gonna make it bigger so you can see it. If I have class animal and this class is abstract, as you can see, it contains abstract method called speak, and it's contain a method which is not abstract called sleep. Okay, the speak is different from animal to animal, but the sleep is the same. Okay, so if I create a cat and I inherit from animal, then I have to write the this one here, the speak. Okay, if I want to avoid it, I can write the same name, speak. Actually, it should be speak. Okay, it should be speak. So the speak here is what? Is meow, for example. If I make it a dog, okay, if I make copy that and make another class here and make a dog, for example, and dog extend from animal, then the speak I will write what? like this. Okay, great. All right, this is an activity for you. And the above scenario using inheritance from the abstract class. So how do you do this? You're gonna create an abstract class, abstract. If you wanna do it, I'm gonna give you a hint. Create abstract class person, and you can put inside the person the common things: name, email, mobile, and age, because all have the same thing. Okay, and then you can put for example here, what is the things that they can do the same. So you have attend, we have attend here and the teacher, and we have attend and the employee. So you can create abstract method inside abstract act method void attend, and that will contain code separately in each one. All right, and what else is the same? So that's the abstract method. Okay, then after that you have to create other two classes. One is for student and one for teacher and one for employee, and these will be extends from where? Extends person. And then you can call them, you can call the attend, you can change the, or you have to write the code for attend in each one separately. Okay, so this is just a hint for you to help you to solve this activity. Okay, the last thing is, I'm gonna explain it again. It's called the interface. Okay, the interface means what? In Java, multiple inheritance is prohibited. You cannot do multiple inheritance, but instead Java gave us something called interface. The interface is actually another way to do a multiple inheritance, okay, in a concept. So interface means multiple inheritance. When I say interface, always remember multiple inheritance. Okay, this is another way to do what? To do abstraction, to hide the code, to hide the code. So basically you write the word interface and the class name, and remember, all methods inside the interface, no code, no implementation. Okay, no code, no implementation. It's different from abstract. Abstract may contain what? May contain methods. But when you say interface, all methods without code. And instead of using extend, I use what? Implement. Instead of using extend, I will use implement to do that. So let's see that. How does it work? If I go to the program, I'm going to create a new project. I will call it similar to here, animal project. And I will say finish. So in the animal project, I will create a class and I'll say this class is called animal, but it's not a class. Okay, I'm gonna change it. Okay, it is not a class, so I'm gonna say here I remove public. I will say what? Interface animal, and I will put two methods, same here, public public void sound and run. Do you see any code for the method? I cannot put code inside the interface. I cannot put code inside the interface, only the names of the method. Okay, great. Now I save this. I go and create another class, new class, Java class, and I'm gonna call it cat. And this cat extend from where? From the interface. But instead of extend, I use what? I use the word implement. Why did I use implement? Because what? Because there's no code inside the interface. Because the it is not a class, it's an interface. So I'm gonna do the implementation of the animal, okay, inside the cat. So I'm saying cat implement animal, okay. All right, very simple. So then I will what? I will say, okay, I'm gonna write sound and sleep code. I will write the sound and sleep code because they are already here. Okay, so this is the implementation of that. Okay, so save it. Okay, and in the main class you can create an instance from that. Let's try that. So you can say you cannot say animal. You cannot say animal. Animal is abstract. You only say cat equal cat C equal new cat, for example. And after that you can say C dot sleep, and also you can say C dot, for example, sound, and that should be fine. So the only difference between abstract and method and an interface, abstract, not all method without code, not all method abstract, but in the interface all the methods are what? Abstract, without code. Okay, you have to implement them. And also the other difference is that we use implement, not extend. Maybe there's some no, there is no hi Java interface. You can also say Java interface instead of Java class. You can say Java interface, and let's say animal A, and I'm gonna make it like an interface. So you can do that either way. Okay, I can copy these things and put it that one. It is the same if you change it. It is exactly the same. And here I can say hey. So instead of creating a class and change it, you can do, there's something called Java interface. Directly you can do it. This is the error. I'm just gonna go and change this one back to animal. Cat, change it to animal. Okay, and that should be fine. Okay, that should be okay now. Because what was the error? The error was because in the animal that one was run, and we do not implement the run here. Every method should be implemented. So if you run it now, I think it should be fine. Should be working. Yeah, is and Mia.